The X-Men franchise. 19 years of movies. I am going to include the Deadpool movies in this ranking, so just to let you know, no Fantastic Four. I know at one point they were going to have a crossover, but we're not going to include that one. It's not going to be Fox, It's just strictly X-Men from the year 2001 or 2000, whenever the hell it was, and then till now. All the X-Men movies. So we'll see what these rank up. Where's Dark Phoenix going to be? We'll see. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. All right, been wanting to do this, especially now that Dark Phoenix is out there. I'm going to give my ranking to the X-Men universe movies. And it's 12 movies, okay? So I have to move fairly quickly. I can't spend too much time on some of them. Probably the earlier ones I'll not talk about so much, but I just want to dive right into it. And yeah, feel free to let me know your rankings down below or send it to me on Twitter, whatever you want to do. So here we go, guys. The last one. The one I don't like the most. Number 12. X-Men Wolverine Origins. I think a lot of people would agree with this, that this movie, man, they missed a big-time opportunity, especially given what we've gotten later when it comes to Wolverine. It's just totally fluffing, watered down. They watered down this origin story. I mean, even teasing it. When they teased it in X2, even the first one, it made it sound a lot more darker than it ended up being. I mean, when he finally gets out and starts, like, escaping, it ended up not being as cool as it seemed like in those flashbacks from X2. He was all bloodied and like, what the hell? And it just didn't seem like that here, and it's just, there's some really bad CGI, and then, of course, Baraka Deadpool. They did a good job with Wade Wilson at the beginning, but then it was kind of like, okay, now you, okay. So naturally, we want to forget about this one, and, well, at least we got other good Wolverine movies. Number 11! X-Men Last Stand. This movie's not as bad as we all might, everybody. Well, yeah, it is. There's a lot of things that are bad. I mean, I could see what they were going for with this. I mean, obviously they wanted to show the Dark Phoenix story. It was all set up in X2, which was cool. And for the most part, her doing a lot of fucked up shit, they really showed that here. And it was a pretty dramatic ending with Logan killing her, because he loved her so much. And then, so it wasn't, there's certain aspects that weren't too bad. But the whole love story and the subplot of the kid being the cure, that was kind of cool, but at certain times it just didn't work. The Juggernaut part was kind of cool. Multi-Man was a little cheesy. There's a lot of just, I don't know. Why this movie, it's very much almost, it starts off like how the animated show would start off, when they're doing like the simulated tests and they're training and stuff. That was kind of cool, but for some reason, I don't know. Ugh. The flashback with Jean Grey, and then he had Xavier walking, but of course they had the de-aging stuff. Both him and Magneto look like aliens with the de-aging stuff, but yeah, it's just, man. It's just a hard watch at times, but not all bad. Number 10! X-Men Apocalypse. How did they fuck this one up? One of my biggest gripes was, why did they go full-on practical with Apocalypse with Oscar Isaac? I mean, Oscar Isaac is a great actor. I thought it would have been cool, but the fact of the matter is, he's still shorter than Magneto. He's supposed to be huge. And towards the last part, the final act, when it was all in Xavier's mind, he got big. And that was kind of cool. And I thought, maybe he should have been like that the whole time. But yeah, this movie is just, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do. I mean, the whole thing about jumping decades was just weird to me. And then it was like, here's the 80s. We started in the 60s. Now we're in the 80s. And what's his name? Cyclops' brother hasn't aged a bit. For Apocalypse being the ultimate baddie, it really just didn't work, because a lot of these, with Cyclops and Jean and all them going out for the first time as a team to fight Apocalypse, I mean, it's a little too quickly, I don't know. It just didn't really work. I mean, there's stuff to like about this movie, sure, but it's just a whole lot not to. The Magneto subplot, that was good. Number 9, Dark Phoenix. Yeah, I don't have to say too much about this because I've already said a lot in my spoiler review and my regular review that it just felt like it was trying to be something, and it almost seemed like it got there, and it just didn't get there, and it didn't really quite work for me and a lot of people. They tried again. It was better than, of course, Last Stand's Dark Phoenix story, but it's just a lot of things that bug me, and it's just so weird that the reshot final act ended up being one of my favorite sequences on the train, and I'm like, well, that was a reshot scene, what the fuck? But overall, it just didn't work, and it's not working, and I mean, when it comes to Apocalypse of Dark Phoenix, they aren't the ending movies for this. I mean, they fit earlier, and some of the better ones are the better enders. Number 8, Deadpool 2. This movie's very enjoyable. They're all very enjoyable, by the way. I'm not saying that I can't go, ugh, like I'm like gonna freaking when I'm watching like X-Men Last Stand. Deadpool 2 is very, very entertaining, very enjoyable. It's just it doesn't capture the same, I guess, essence as the first one, because the first one was so contained. It was small budget, contained. This is the story, cool. And then with the second one, they try to go grander with the special effects and the Juggernaut. Those special effects with that got a little wonky, but I didn't really care too much. It was just trying to do like a lot more, and then of course set up X-Force, so it kind of like hurt the story in my opinion. But there's still a lot of funniness, a lot of good jokes, and I even enjoyed the Once Upon a Deadpool PG-13 cut with the whole going back and forth, even though that had some issues too. But for overall though, I still enjoy this movie. Give me X-Force, damn it! Number 7, The Wolverine. This movie is really good. To be honest, this has an excellent subway train rooftop sequence that is one of the best ones out of all like these types of movies. My God, it's just the way that he's and then they have to leap up when like oh man, it was just very intense. A lot of good shit in here. I mean, you got Logan, who just killed the love of his life, I guess you could say. So he's just a kind of a broken man, and it starts off with him. He's all grizzly, and it's a pretty damn good movie. I mean, the only thing that this movie suffers is the villain. And the final act kind of gets a little you were like really going for some more deeper stuff here, and then it just kind of went, with the Silver Samurai, it just kind of went and the fucking lizard or the snake girl was like but overall, still a pretty damn good movie. Number 6, X-Men First Class. Yes, a nice little soft reboot of the franchise. So people got to realize that, hey, like when Dark Phoenix, not exactly the end of this franchise, when it was kind of already rebooted in 2011. First Class is really great. To see the origin of Raven, of Xavier, of Magneto, Eric, just a lot of good stuff. And Kevin Bacon as the big baddie. My God. I mean, he was a really good villain. He's probably one of the best villains of the whole fucking franchise. Pretty damn great. I mean, I think of course he's under Magneto, but yeah. It's a really good movie. It's a good little start off, good little switcheroo to show all that. I mean, there was even a cameo from Logan, and it's just a lot of great stuff here, and trying to get the school going, and how everybody got their powers, and trying to control their powers, and then of course we saw how Charles ends up getting paralyzed. Just really good stuff here. Matthew Vaughn did a great job, and I mean, yeah, it got better and then got worse. Number 5, the one that started it all. X-Men. I just remember going to see this in the movie theater and thinking it was the greatest thing ever. It was just something so unique, so different. To see the X-Men wrapped in flesh on the big screen, crazy stuff. And it really started a revolution in, an evolution too, of these CBMs. I mean, after this, Spider-Man came out, and those two movies just really went, oh wow, we could really do some crazy shit with people now that we got this technology. And it just kept getting better, and sometimes it would get a little worse. But yeah, this one started it all, and it just worked. It just worked very well. You got to get backstories on certain characters, and you got to establish like this whole universe. You didn't need individual movies to establish anything to have one team-up movie. I mean, it's a lot easier to do that with X-Men because they're just known as the X-Men, but just to get all that stuff, just to get all their personalities, and they pretty much nailed it all. I mean, of course, they changed some shit. Of course, I mean, Wolverine's not supposed to be as tall, and there's just a lot of things. Rogue can fly, There's things that they didn't use in the movies, but for the most part, it holds a special place in everybody's hearts because it really, being that this movie came out in the year 2000, it just started this whole like new wave of CBMs, and if it weren't for this movie, we wouldn't have the ones we have now, and that's just awesome. Number 4! I might get to hell for this one because everybody loves it and think it's the best one, but it's number 4 in my eyes. X2. X-Men United. Yeah, of course, for a while, this movie was one of the best. I mean, it still is really good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, to continue off and to be better, to be like the Dark Knight in that first little fucking X-Men trilogy is really great, because you get a lot of Logan backstory, obviously, with Stryker coming in, and you just find out more about Logan's background, and then the death of Jean, which then, of course, set up the Dark Phoenix. There's just so much great with this movie, and, of course, them teaming up with the bad guys, and I could talk forever about how great this movie is, but, I mean, that opening sequence, for the fuck's sake, Nightcrawler in the White House, just fucking everybody up. My God, just a great continuation. Jean Grey still struggling with her shit. I mean, it's just good stuff. It's just really good stuff, and yeah, it just I don't know. I hope I don't get too much hell for that, but I'm just saying, it's number 4. Number 3, Deadpool. Yeah, I just love this movie. I absolutely love this movie, and the fact that it started off by just leaked test footage. That's what's so great about it. That they've been trying to. Ryan Reynolds and everybody who's involved, they've been trying to get a Deadpool movie out there, and they shot this test footage that they showed, and it didn't work, and then when it leaked online, it just blew up, and then 2 years later, we had that first Deadpool movie, and now we're on the second one, and hopefully we're getting more, and it's just crazy. And it's just great because they did Deadpool right. R-rated, they got the character, pretty much nailed the character. And it wasn't anything. Of course, they make fun of what they did in Origins, and Ryan Reynolds was just on cloud 9, and it ended up just working out so well because you got his humor, you got Tim Miller's knack for action, and just keeping that contained story. The action's so ridiculous, but it's so great. The love story you love between that, and that's why I think Deadpool 2 really didn't work as well, because they tried to continue it, but they knew that they couldn't, so they killed her off, and that's why it was kind of a little weird. But this one was just like this big love story that you actually believed in, and it just worked, and god damn it, I just hope we still get more Deadpool. Number 2, X-Men Days of Future Past. This is the true culmination of this whole fucking franchise right in this movie, because it's got both. It's got the young, it's got the old. It's all in here. They come face to face sometimes. They all have to band together. And it's a time travel story. And the ending is so fucking happy. You got the original cast coming back that are there in the house. I mean, how is this not the ending of the true ending of the X-Men franchise? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the true ending of the X-Men franchise. And it's fucking fantastic. Like I said, time travel. Raven was badass because obviously in Dark Phoenix, she and they didn't give a fuck. She was awesome. And I'm talking about, you have to watch the Rogue Cut too. The Rogue Cut is better. And the fact that they completely removed Rogue, I don't understand that, because her scenes are great, and the fact that they had to go get her and just the stuff with that, and then the added little bonuses within the whole story, it's so good. So if you haven't seen the Rogue Cut, do yourself a favor. Then, of course, coming in at number 1, I'm sure you guys all guessed it. And like I said, when it comes to Days of Future Past, that is the true ending of this franchise. When it comes to Logan, that is the swan song for Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, the most notable ones of this franchise. And it ends beautifully with this fucking movie. They both die, of course. Spoiler alert, like you already knew that. And it's fucking gut-wrenching. Every time I watch it, I get choked up and sad. And they just Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart just give such great performances. They should have been nominated for awards, and so did Daphne Keane as well. And I'm glad it got nominated for screenplay, but it should have got nominated for much more. Just to have this small movie that wasn't like the other movies. It was small, it was R-rated. We got a Wolverine just decapitating motherfuckers, just blood everywhere, and him struggling. And the fact that all that adamantium was poisoning him, and that's why he's just all fucked up and just still trying to be that anti-hero-ish, but he's a hero, but he's just, yeah. There's so much drama in this fucking movie, and there's just so much good stuff. I could watch this movie all the time, and I will always get choked up, and I will always fucking want to clap at the end. Truly a great way to fully finish this franchise. So there you have it, guys. That is my ranking right there. That's just me. That's what I think. I know you're going to have a different ranking, and feel free to tell me what it is, and let me know down below, or send me on Twitter, whatever it is. All right, guys? Let me know it down below or on Twitter, okay? And hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel, it's thefilmjunkie.com for all my content. Follow me on the Sock Meds over there, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon if you want to help out. And shirts and stickers down below, all right, guys? I'll talk to you later.